Let's begin by setting the stage for where we are going. The fifth dimension is not some far-off, mystical place that only a few chosen people can access. It's a state of consciousness, a higher frequency of existence that we all have the potential to tap into. But here's the kicker. The rules that govern the fifth dimension are radically different from the ones that rule the 3D world we're used to. It's like playing a completely different game, one where the old strategies no longer work, and if you're not aware of the new rules, you'll find yourself stuck, confused, and frustrated. So, what are these core spiritual laws that entirely rule the fifth dimension? How do they differ from the familiar laws of the 3D world? And how can you apply them in your life to elevate your consciousness and experience a deeper sense of peace, joy, and abundance? That's what we're diving into today, and let me tell you, once you understand and start living by these laws, everything changes. You'll start to see the world differently, and more importantly, the world will respond to you differently.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
One of the first laws of the fifth dimension is the law of unity. In the 3D world, we're conditioned to see everything as separate. You, me, that tree over there, the stars in the sky, everything seems distinct, disconnected. But in the fifth dimension, separation is an illusion. There's only unity. Everything is interconnected, and not just in some abstract, philosophical sense. It's a very real, very tangible truth that you begin to feel in your bones. When you understand this, you realize that every action you take, every thought you have, ripples out and affects the whole. There's a deep responsibility that comes with this understanding, but also a profound sense of power. You are not just a separate individual trying to make it through life, you are a part of the entire cosmic dance, co-creating reality with every move you make. Here's a deep question to reflect on. Where in your life are you still operating from a sense of separation? Are there people or situations that you see as other, as outside of yourself? What would shift if you embraced the truth of unity, if you started to see yourself in every person, in every living? This shift in perception is key to elevating your vibration to the fifth dimension. The next core law is the law of vibration. Everything in the universe is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. In the 3D world, we often get caught up in the material, what we can see, touch, taste, and measure. But in the fifth dimension, it's all about vibration. Your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions, these are all vibrations, and they are constantly shaping your reality. The higher your vibration, the more aligned you are with the energy of the fifth dimension, and the more effortlessly you can manifest your desires and live in harmony with the universe. But here's the catch. Most of us are still vibrating at a 3D level. We're weighed down by fear, doubt, and attachment to outcomes. These lower vibrations keep us stuck in the dense energy of the 3D world, making it hard to access the higher frequencies of the fifth dimension. So, how do you raise your vibration? It starts with awareness. You need to become aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and the energy you're putting out into the world. Are you vibrating at the frequency of love, gratitude, and abundance? Or are you stuck in fear, scarcity, and judgment? Here's another question for you. If you were to tune into your current vibration, right in this moment, what would you feel? Are you aligned with the higher frequencies of the fifth dimension, or is there something pulling your energy down? This awareness is the first step to shifting your vibration, and as you do, you'll start to notice that your reality begins to shift as well. Things that used to feel hard or out of reach will start to flow more easily. and you'll find yourself attracting new opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your higher frequency. Another key spiritual law of the fifth dimension is the law of instant manifestation. In the 3D world, manifestation often feels slow and cumbersome. You set an intention, you work towards your goal, and maybe, eventually, it comes to fruition. But in the fifth dimension, manifestation is instant. Why? Because time, as we know it, doesn't exist in the same way in the fifth dimension. It's not linear. Everything is happening in the now, and when you're aligned with that higher frequency, your desires can manifest almost immediately. But here's the thing, instant manifestation works both ways. If you're vibrating at a high frequency, love, joy, peace, you'll instantly manifest experiences that reflect those vibrations. But if you're stuck in fear, anger, or doubt, you'll manifest more of that too. This is why it's so important to be mindful of your energy at all times. In the fifth dimension, there's no waiting period between your thoughts and their manifestation. What you focus on is what you get instantly. So, here's a powerful question to ponder. If you knew that your thoughts and emotions were instantly creating your reality, how would you think and feel differently? What would you choose to focus on? This is one of the most important lessons of the fifth dimension. Your reality is a direct reflection of your inner world, and the more you master your thoughts and emotions, the more you'll master your external experiences. Finally, we have the law of divine timing. In the 3D world, we're so used to pushing, forcing, and trying to control the timing of everything. We want things to happen on our schedule, and when they don't, we get frustrated and impatient. But in the fifth dimension, everything happens in divine timing. There's no need to rush or force, because everything is unfolding exactly as it should, in perfect alignment with the greater cosmic plan. When you trust in divine timing, you release the need for control, and you allow the universe to guide you to what's meant for you at the perfect time. But let's be real, that's easier said than done. We've been conditioned to believe that we have to make things happen, that if we're not constantly hustling and grinding, we're falling behind. But this is a 3D mindset, and it will only keep you stuck in lower vibrations. To align with the fifth dimension, you need to surrender to the flow of life. Trust that the universe has your back and that everything is happening for your highest good, even when it doesn't seem like it. So, here's a final question for you to reflect on. Where in your life are you still trying to control the timing? What would happen if you let go of that need for control and trusted that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't see it yet? This is the essence of the fifth dimension, living in alignment with the flow of the universe, trusting that everything is happening in divine timing and knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, right now. Now that we've laid the foundation for understanding the core spiritual laws that govern the fifth dimension, it's time to dive deeper into how you can actually embody this consciousness in your everyday life. Because let's be real, knowing about these laws is one thing, but living by them, that's where the real transformation happens. And that's what we're aiming for here, not just intellectual understanding, but full embodiment of fifth dimensional consciousness in everything you do. Let's start with the law of unity. As you begin to grasp the profound interconnectedness of all things, you'll notice that your relationships, your work, and even your relationship with yourself will start to transform. But embodying unity consciousness requires a shift in how you see the world. It's easy to talk about oneness, but in our day-to-day lives, we're conditioned to operate from separation. We think in terms of me and them. We judge others, we compete, We compare. And in doing so, we forget that on a higher level, we are all the same energy, expressing itself in different forms. So how do you live in unity consciousness? It starts with compassion for yourself and for others. Every time you judge someone, every time you see them as other, you're reinforcing the illusion of separation. But when you approach people from a place of compassion, understanding that they are simply another reflection of the same source energy, you begin to dissolve the barriers between you and them. And here's the magic: as you practice compassion and unity, you'll notice that people begin to reflect that back to you. You'll experience deeper, more meaningful connections because you're seeing others through the lens of oneness rather than separation. Here's a reflection for you. Think about a person in your life who triggers you, someone who you find difficult to deal with. What if, instead of seeing them as the source of your frustration, you saw them as a mirror, reflecting something within you that needs healing? What if this person was actually a teacher, helping you to grow by showing you where you're still operating from separation? This shift in perspective is a powerful way to start embodying unity consciousness in your daily life. Next, let's talk about the law of vibration. And this is where things get really practical. As we mentioned earlier, everything is energy, and your vibration is constantly shaping your reality. But how do you actually raise your vibration in the midst of everyday challenges, when life gets stressful, when you're dealing with difficult emotions, or when things aren't going your way? One of the most effective ways to raise your vibration is through gratitude. Gratitude is like a supercharger for your energy field. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you immediately shift your vibration from lack to abundance. And it's not just about listing things you're grateful for in your head, it's about feeling it in your body. When you truly feel gratitude, your energy expands, and you start to attract more experiences that match that high-frequency state. Start practicing this daily. Every morning when you wake up, instead of reaching for your phone or getting caught up in your to-do list, take a moment to feel gratitude for 3 things. And I mean really feel it. Not just a mental exercise, but a full body experience where you feel the vibration of gratitude radiating from your heart. This simple practice alone can elevate your vibration and shift your entire day. But here's a deeper question for you. What are the things in your life that you're not grateful for? What situations or relationships do you resist, judge, or wish were different? And what would happen if you found a way to feel gratitude for them too? This is where the real work begins, finding gratitude not just for the obvious blessings, but for the challenges, the lessons, the things that push you out of your comfort zone. Because in the 5th dimension, everything is happening for your growth and evolution, even the things that seem difficult or painful. Moving on to the law of instant manifestation. This is where things get exciting, but also a bit tricky. As you raise your vibration and align with 5th dimensional consciousness, you'll notice that manifestation happens faster. Your thoughts and emotions are creating your reality in real time, which is both empowering and a bit daunting. Why? Because it means you need to be extremely mindful of what you're focusing on. If you're constantly thinking about what you don't want, you're going to manifest more of that. But if you're focusing on what you do want, from a place of high vibration love, joy, abundance, you'll start to see those things show up in your life almost effortlessly. The key here is clarity and intention. You need to be crystal clear about what you want to create and hold that intention with unwavering focus, while also letting go of attachment to the outcome. Here's a practical exercise. Take a few moments to write down one thing you want to manifest in your life right now. It could be anything: better health, a new relationship, financial abundance, or spiritual growth. Now, Instead of just thinking about it, feel what it would be like to already have it. What emotions would you be experiencing? How would your energy feel? The more you can embody the vibration of already having what you desire, the faster it will manifest. This is the essence of instant manifestation, aligning your vibration with the frequency of what you want, and then allowing it to flow into your life. But here's a deep question to consider. Are you truly ready for what you're asking for? Sometimes we think we want something, but on a deeper level, we're not actually prepared to receive it. Maybe there's fear, doubt, or unworthiness lurking beneath the surface. So ask yourself, am I fully aligned with the thing I want to manifest? If not, what do I need to shift within myself to become a vibrational match for it? Finally, let's talk about the law of divine timing. This is one of the hardest laws for us to accept, especially in a world that constantly pushes us to rush, to achieve, to make things happen on our timeline. But the truth is, the universe operates on its own timeline, and it's always perfect. When you align with fifth dimensional consciousness, you begin to trust in divine timing. You understand that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't look like it. But how do you live this out practically, especially when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like? The key is surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up, it means letting go of the need to control every detail and trusting that the universe has your back. It means being fully present in the now, instead of constantly projecting into the future or dwelling on the past. Here's a practical way to embody this. The next time you find yourself feeling impatient or frustrated because something isn't happening as fast as you want, pause, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, I trust in divine timing. Everything is unfolding perfectly, even if I can't see it right now. This simple affirmation can help you shift from a place of resistance to a place of trust. And when you trust in divine timing, you open yourself up to even greater possibilities than you could have imagined. Here's one last question to reflect on. Where in your life are you still resisting divine timing? What are you trying to force or control that's not flowing? And what would happen if you let go, trusted the process, and allowed the universe to work its magic? As we continue this journey into understanding and embodying the fifth dimensional consciousness, we're now reaching a pivotal point. If you want to fully access the fifth dimension and live there consistently, there's one crucial thing you must do: break free from the illusions of the third dimension. These illusions are what keep most people trapped in lower vibrations, and until you see through them, it's nearly impossible to sustain the fifth dimensional frequency. Let's unpack that for a moment. The third dimension is ruled by a set of beliefs and perceptions that create a very limited experience of reality. It's a dimension of duality, good vs. bad, right, wrong, light vs. dark. It's a world of separation where we believe that we are alone, disconnected from others and from the universe itself. This illusion of separation is one of the biggest traps of the third dimension, and it's what keeps us in a constant state of fear, competition, and lack. But here's the thing: separation is not real. In the fifth dimension, you begin to understand that everything is connected, that we are all part of the same energetic fabric. The idea that you are separate from others, from nature, or from the universe is just a story you've been told, and it's a story that's been reinforced over and over again by the world around you. But once you begin to see through this illusion, everything changes. You start to operate from a place of unity, where you recognize that the energy you put out into the world is the same energy that comes back to you. So, how do you start breaking free from the illusion of separation? It begins with awareness. You need to start noticing all the ways in which you still see yourself as separate from others. Do you judge people who are different from you? Do you feel the need to compete or compare yourself to others? Do you believe that your happiness or success comes at the expense of someone else's? These are all signs that you're still operating from a 3D mindset. Here's a deep question for you. In what areas of your life are you still acting from the belief that you are separate from the whole? Where are you still holding on to the idea that you are alone, that you have to do everything yourself, or that the universe is something outside of you? This is a critical question because it will help you uncover the unconscious patterns that are keeping you stuck in 3D consciousness. Another powerful illusion of the third dimension is the belief in linear time. In the 3D world, we're taught to believe that time is linear, that there's a past, a present, and a future, and that we move through time in a straight line. But in the fifth dimension, time is non-linear. Everything is happening simultaneously, in the now. The past, present, and future are all just different expressions of the same moment. This might sound abstract, but it has a very practical application in your life. When you're stuck in 3D consciousness, you often find yourself dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. You replay old mistakes in your head, or you constantly think about what you need to do tomorrow, next week, or next year to get ahead. This keeps you trapped in a state of anxiety, fear, and regret. But in the fifth dimension, you understand that the only moment that truly exists is right now. And when you fully embrace the present moment, you open yourself up to the infinite possibilities that are available to you in this very instant. So, how do you break free from the illusion of linear time? It starts with presence. The more you can anchor yourself in the present moment, the more you will begin to experience the timeless nature of the fifth dimension. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating presence. When you meditate, you quiet the mind and bring your awareness into the now. You stop obsessing over the past or the future, and you allow yourself to simply be. Here's an exercise for you. The next time you find yourself worrying about the future or replaying something from the past, pause. Take a few deep breaths and ask yourself what is happening right now in this moment. Notice how much of your mental energy is being consumed by thoughts of the past or the future, and bring your awareness back to the present. This simple practice can help you break free from the illusion of linear time and begin to experience the timeless nature of the fifth dimension. Another key illusion of the third dimension is the belief in scarcity. In the 3D world, we're conditioned to believe that there's not enough, whether it's money, love, success, or happiness. We're constantly striving, competing, and hoarding because we think there's only so much to go around. But in the fifth dimension, there is no scarcity. There is only abundance. The universe is limitless, and when you align with the frequency of abundance, you open yourself up to receive everything you need. But here's the trick. You can't access abundance if you're still vibrating at the frequency of lack. If you're constantly focused on what you don't have, on what's missing, or on what you need to get, you're reinforcing the vibration of scarcity. And in the fifth dimension, you manifest what you vibrate. If you're vibrating at a frequency of lack, you'll continue to experience lack. But if you shift your vibration to abundance by focusing on what you already have, by feeling gratitude, by trusting that the universe will provide, you'll start to attract more abundance into your life. Here's a practical exercise. Every day, take a moment to focus on the abundance that already exists in your life. It doesn't have to be material wealth. Abundance can be found in the love of your friends and family, in the beauty of nature, in the opportunities that come your way. The more you focus on the abundance that's already present, the more you will begin to attract. And remember, in the fifth dimension, abundance is not something you have to chase or struggle, for it's your natural state of being. Finally, perhaps the most powerful illusion of the third dimension is the belief in fear and limitation. In the 3D world, we are constantly bombarded with fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. These fears keep us small, keep us from stepping into our full potential, and keep us from accessing the higher frequencies of the fifth dimension. But here's the truth. Fear is an illusion. It's a construct of the mind, and it only has power over you if you give it power. In the fifth dimension, fear doesn't exist because you understand that you are an infinite being connected to the source of all creation. You realize that there is nothing to be afraid of because you are always supported by the universe, and everything is happening for your highest good. So, how do you break free from the illusion of fear and limitation? It starts with courage. Courage doesn't mean you're never afraid, it means you move forward despite your fear. Every time you take action in the face of fear, you weaken its hold over you. And the more you do this, the more you begin to embody the limitless nature of the fifth dimension. Here's something to reflect on. What fears are still holding you back? What would you do if you weren't afraid? What actions would you take if you knew you were fully supported by the universe? These are the questions that will help you break free from the final illusions of the third dimension and step fully into the fifth dimensional consciousness. So here we are. You've learned about the core spiritual laws that govern the fifth dimension, and you've begun to see through the illusions of the third dimension. But here's the challenge. How do you stay aligned with 5D consciousness when the 3D world constantly pulls you back? How do you navigate a world that is still largely operating from fear, separation, and scarcity, while maintaining your high vibration and connection to the higher frequencies? This is the final piece, and it's perhaps the most important. Because, let's face it, living in a 3D world while embodying 5D consciousness is not always easy. You will be tested. You will be triggered. You will face situations that challenge your ability to stay in a high vibration. But here's the good news. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. And with the right tools, you can navigate the 3D world without getting pulled back into its lower vibrations. The first key to maintaining your 5D vibration is awareness. You need to stay aware of your energy at all times. This might sound simple, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools you have. When you're aware of your energy, you can catch yourself when you start to dip into lower vibrations, when you start to feel fear, frustration, judgment, or lack. The moment you notice these lower vibrations creeping in, you have the power to shift. But how do you do that? It starts with emotional mastery. In the fifth dimension, emotions are your compass. They tell you whether you're aligned with your higher self or whether you've slipped back into 3D consciousness. When you feel emotions like love, joy, peace, and gratitude, you know you're in alignment. But when you feel emotions like fear, anger, or frustration, it's a sign that you've temporarily disconnected from your 5D vibration. Here's a practical tip. The next time you feel yourself slipping into a lower vibration, stop and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? And why? This simple question can bring you back to awareness. Once you're aware, you can make a conscious choice to shift your energy. This might mean taking a few deep breaths, practicing gratitude, or simply stepping away from the situation for a moment to regain your center. The more you practice emotional mastery, the more quickly you'll be able to shift back into a higher vibration. But here's a deeper question for you. What are the recurring patterns or situations in your life that consistently pull you into lower vibrations? These are the areas where your deepest work lies. Maybe it's a particular relationship that triggers you, or maybe it's a situation at work that causes stress and anxiety. Whatever it is, these are your greatest teachers. They are showing you where you still have healing to do, where you're still operating from 3D consciousness. And by bringing awareness to these patterns, you can begin to transform them. Another tool for maintaining a high vibration in a 3D world is energetic boundaries. In the fifth dimension, you are more sensitive to energy. You can feel the vibrations of others more acutely. And if you're not careful, you can easily absorb the lower vibrations around you. This is why it's so important to set clear energetic boundaries. Here's how to do it. Every morning, before you start your day, take a moment to ground yourself. Visualize a protective bubble of light around your body. This could be white light, golden light, or any color that resonates with you. This bubble is your energetic boundary, and it will help protect you from absorbing the lower vibrations of others. Throughout the day, check in with your energy. If you feel like your energy is being drained, take a moment to reinforce your boundary. You can also use this technique before entering any situation where you know the energy might be dense or challenging. But here's an important question. Are there people or environments in your life that consistently drain your energy? This is something to pay attention to, because while it's important to have compassion for others, you also need to protect your own energy. If there are relationships or situations that are consistently pulling you into lower vibrations, it might be time to reassess those connections. In the fifth dimension, you have the right to prioritize your own energy and well-being. Now, let's talk about alignment. In the fifth dimension, alignment is everything. When you're in alignment, life flows effortlessly. You feel connected to your higher self, and things fall into place with ease. But when you're out of alignment, everything feels like a struggle. You encounter resistance, things don't go as planned, and you feel disconnected from your purpose. So how do you stay in alignment? The key is listening to your inner guidance. In the 3D world, we're taught to rely on logic, reason, and external validation. But in the fifth dimension, your inner guidance, your intuition, is your most powerful tool. Your intuition is always guiding you towards alignment, but you have to be willing to listen and trust it, even when it doesn't make logical sense. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you're faced with a decision, instead of immediately going into your head and trying to figure it out logically, pause. Take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, what does my intuition say? Don't overthink it, just listen to the first feeling or impression that comes. The more you practice tuning into your intuition, the stronger it will become. And the more you follow it, the more you'll find yourself in a state of alignment. But here's a question for you. In what areas of your life are you still ignoring your intuition? Where are you still making decisions based on fear, logic, or external pressure, rather than listening to your inner guidance? This is crucial because every time you ignore your intuition, you move out of alignment. And the more you practice tuning into and trusting your intuition, the more aligned your life will become. Finally, let's talk about trust. Trust is one of the most important elements of living in the fifth dimension. You have to trust the universe, trust the process, and most importantly, trust yourself. In the 3D world, we're conditioned to doubt ourselves. We're taught to seek approval and validation from others, and we're often afraid to take risks or follow our dreams because we fear failure. But in the fifth dimension, trust is everything. You have to trust that the universe is supporting you, that everything is unfolding for your highest good, and that you are exactly where you need to be. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate trust is through surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up, it means letting go of the need to control every outcome and trusting that the universe has a plan. When you surrender, you allow life to flow through you, rather than trying to force or manipulate things to go your way. This is the essence of 5D consciousness, living in alignment with the flow of the universe, rather than resisting it. Remember, the fifth dimension is not somewhere you go, it's a state of being. You already have access to it right now. All it takes is a shift in consciousness, a commitment to live from a higher vibration, and a deep trust in the process. The more you align with 5D consciousness, the more effortlessly life will flow, and the more you will experience the magic, abundance, and peace that are your birthright. That's it. You now have the tools to fully access and embody the fifth dimension. The journey doesn't end here, it's a continuous process of growth, expansion, and alignment. But with each step, you move closer to living the life you were truly meant to live, one of joy, abundance, and unity with the universe. Thank you for being here, for doing this work, and for committing to your highest evolution. Now, go forth and live in the fifth dimension. You are ready.